Alright, so video 2 is going to be working on scientific notation a lot. We're going to evaluate expressions and then hit the word problems, graphing, and writing equations. So, scientific notation. Write each number in scientific notation. The decimal's here. It needs to be here, so it needs to move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2.76 times 10. Now that's a big number, so that means it's going to have a positive exponent attached to it. So that's positive 5. We're done with that one. Needs to be between the 4 and the 1, so 4.1 times 10 to the, that's a small number. I moved it at 1, 2, 3. Small numbers have negative exponents attached to them, so negative 3. This one looks like it's in scientific notation. It's not, because 523 is bigger than 10. It needs to be 1, 2 over, so it's going to be 5.23. And I made 523 into 5.23, so it got smaller. So the exponent needs to get bigger by a product of 2. So you moved it twice, so it's got to get bigger by 2. So it's going to be times 10 to the 6th. Okay, write each number in standard notation. So basically you're doing the opposite. You're going to take this and write it like that. Negative exponents means it's a small number. To make a small number, I move the decimal to the left. So it's 7. So I'm going to move it 5 this way. So it's going to be 1, and then the rest of them are going to be 0. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4 zeros. So 0 point 1, 2, 3, 4, and there's the 7. That 0 doesn't count. It's only the zeros between the decimal and the number. That's how many I'm counting. 5.92 times 10 to the 6th. Big number, so zeros are going to be added at the end. So I'm moving it 6 times. Takes 2 to get to the end here, and then 4 more. So 592, and then 4 more zeros. If you want to put commas in, just count backwards. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. It's 5,920,000. 4 times 10 to the 8th. Again, big number, so zeros are going to be later. It's already at the end. I'm going to move it 8 zeros, so 4 with 8 zeros. 400 million. Okay. Now operations with scientific notation. This is what you're going to be really checked on the test. So this is just taking a number 5 times a very small number, 1.3 times 10 to the negative 8. All we do is take 5 times 1.3. That is 6.5. Nothing changes with the exponent. Now we just have to check, is that number between 1 and 10? It is, so we're done. That's it. 26. Big number times another big number. Scientific notation, scientific notation. I'm going to multiply the 5 and the 7 and get 35 times 10. But now I got to multiply 10 to the 7th times 10 to the 5th. Now I'm going to add those exponents and say 10 to the 12th. Okay? That number is bigger than 10, so I'm not done. I'm going to move the decimal one spot. So it's going to be 3.5. I made that number smaller, so I got to make this number bigger by 1 times 10 to the 13th. Division. Division, I'm going to take the top number divided by the bottom number. So 4.8 divided by 8 is 0.6 times 10. Now I have to subtract, and you always have to subtract top minus bottom. So it's got to be negative 4 minus 9. That's negative 13. That number is smaller than 1. I need it to be between 1 and 10, so I got to move it one spot over. 6 times 10. That got, this time it got from 0.6 to 6. I made this bigger, so it's got it smaller by 1. Negative 13 minus 1 is negative 14. Same thing here, division. 7.8 divided by 2.4 is 3.25 times 10. And it's got to be top minus bottom, so it's negative 2 minus negative 9. So that's like negative 2 plus 9, which is 7. That number's between 1 and 10, so we are done. Okay, evaluating expressions. So we're going to put negative 3 in for A and 4 in for B, but not yet. What I'm going to do first is I'm going to move things around. Can't stress that enough. So I'm going to move B to the bottom. So it's going to be 3A squared over B, or B to the first. Now that all the exponents are positive, I'm going to now plug stuff in. When I plug stuff in, I'm putting -3 in for A. When I do that, I'm going to use parentheses. Putting 4 in for B. And now I'm going to simplify this. So exponents first. -3 squared is +9. 3 times 9 is 27. Divided by 4. Can't reduce that, so there we go. 27 over 4. 30. I see I've got 2 A's and I've got 2 B's. All of the exponents are positive, so that's nice. Where are there more A's? On the bottom, right? There's more A's on the bottom, and there's 2 more A's on the bottom, so that's my exponent. Where are there more B's? On top. How many more? 2. That's a 1. So now I've simplified that to that. Now I'm going to plug stuff in. So instead of B, I'm going to put 4. Instead of A, I'm going to put -3. Again, use parentheses. 4 squared is 16. -3 squared is +9. Can't reduce that. There we go. Last one of the evaluating. 6a to the -3 b squared squared. So everything in here is going to get multiplied by, every exponent is going to get multiplied by 2. So that's 6 squared, a to the -6th, b to the 4th, times a to the 6th, b to the -7th. Okay? Combining things and simplifying, I'm going to get 36. -6 and +6 makes 0, so that cancels out. 4 and -7, that's b to the -3rd. I'm going to finish that up by moving b to the bottom. And now I'm going to plug 4 in for b. So 36 over 4 to the 3rd power. That's 36 over 64, which can definitely be reduced. I know I can take out 2. So I'm going to say 18 over 32. I can keep going. I can take out 2 more, so that's 9 over 16. And there we go. 9 over 16. That's evaluating. Now we're going to do some word problems. So exponential functions here. A college loan of $55,000 has an interest rate of 4% per year. If you make no payments on the loan, how much would be on the loan in 8 years? So the amount that you're borrowing goes up because of the interest. So this is a growth. The starting is $55,000. Growth, the B value is 1 plus the rate, which is 0.04. So B equals 1.04 to the x power. X is the number of years. So 8 years, I'm going to put 8 in for x. So I'm going to have 55,000 times 1.04 to the 8th power. Literally just typing that into the calculator. And you get that number there. So 75,271.29777. Rounding purposes, if it's money, I'm going to round to the nearest 2 spots. So that's 29 cents. Look at the next number. It's actually going to be 30 cents. So 75,271 and 30 cents would be on the loan. Okay. Last page here. Let's continue with this video here. A car worth $18,000 depreciates 13% per year. If you decide to sell the car after 5 years, would $9,000 be a fair price? Explain. So we just want to figure out how much will it be worth after 5 years. Well, it's originally worth $18,000. It's depreciating or decaying. So to find B, I have to do 1 minus the rate of 0.13. So B equals 0.87. To the x power, x is number of years. We're talking 5 years. So I'm just going to put the 5 there. Type it in the calculator. I get $8,971.58. You're deciding to sell it for $9,000. That's pretty close to what it's expected. It's a reasonable price. All right. If it's that close, it's within like 30 bucks. That would be a very reasonable price for that car. 34. In The Walking Dead, the number of zombies doubles every episode. If in episode 1 there were 75 zombies, how many zombies are there in episode 16? So the original is 75. If they double, that means B equals 2. Episode 16, so 16 episodes. There's my equation, 75, 2 to the 16. Big number, 4915200. That's 4,915,200 zombies. Exponential function graphing. Okay? I'm going to show you the shortcuts because I feel like those are better. 9 is my y-intercept. If I put 0 in for x, that whole thing's going to go to 1, and leave 1 times 9, 9. That's my y-intercept. As x goes up by 1, it's going to divide by 3. Times by 1/3, divide by 3, does the same thing. So 9 divided by 3 is 3. And then it's going to divide by 3 again. So after another x value, it's going to divide by 3, which is 1. So divide by 3, divide by 3. But if I look at it the other way, to go from here to here, I'm multiplying by 3, multiply by 3, multiply by 3. Doesn't fit on the graph. That's okay. We just know that it's going to be way up here, and it's decaying very quickly. It just can't go past the negative. Second one, y-intercept is 3. It's doubling each time you go 1 to the right. So 3 doubled is 6, so 1 to the right, 6. 6 doubled is 12. 12 doubled is 24, doesn't fit. Let's go the other way though. If this is doubling as I go to the right, as I go to the left, dividing by 2. So 3 divided by 2 is 1.5. 1.5 divided by 2 is 0.75. And there's my graph. Okay, last thing, writing an equation of the exponential function. Giving you 2 points, I'm going to write the equation. So y equals ab to the x. I've given you x and y. I'm going to plug those in. 18 goes in for y. X is 2. 9 goes in for y. X is 3. Actually, I'm going to fix that. I'm going to switch those around. I'm going to write 9 equals ab to the third first, and 18 equals ab to the second. Why? I want my bigger b value on top every time. That was my mistake. Don't do that. Now I'm going to divide these two equations. Why do I divide them? What's a divided by a? They cancel. It's eliminating the a. B to the third divided by b squared. Where are there more b's? On top. And that right there, that reason is why I put the bigger exponent on top. 9 divided by 18 reduces to 1/2, so b is 1/2. To find a, I'm going to take the 1/2 and plug it back in for b. So on my line here, I'm going to write y equals, we're looking for a, b is 1/2 to the x. So now I'm going to put 1/2 in for b, go over here. 18 equals a times 1/2 squared. Well, 1/2 squared is 1 squared, right? 1 and 1 here. So multiply each exponent by 1, so it's 1 over 2 squared is 4. To get a by itself, I have to multiply both sides by 4. It's going to cancel the 4. You get 72 equals a. And there's my equation. Again, I'm going to leave some space here. There's my equation with the blanks left over. That's a, that's b. I'm going to set it up the same way. 64 equals a times b to the third. 16 equals a times b to the first. Divide the two. 64 divided by 16 is 4. A divided by a cancels. There's 2 more b's on top. That's b squared. We don't know how to solve that yet, but what number times itself gives me 4? That's 2. So b is 2. Now I can take that 2, plug it in. 16 equals a times 2 to the first. Well, 2 to the first is just 2. Divide by 2, you get 8 equals A. And there's my equation. Okay, and that's it. Hopefully that helped. Checkpoint B will be on Friday.